thank you to my colleagues in ODI for the kind invitation to Oxfam to share this experience. I think the report has been very interesting in terms of touching base on the main challenge that faces young girls or adolescent girls, to have a better life and to promote her welfare. I just want to note something. If you want to change an individual's life, X, you reach that person. When you want to change women's lives or girls' life, you have to go through many people to reach that person. This is the difficult part of it. You need to change many to reach that person, so you can imagine how the road would be that longer. I said to share with you some of our experiences in the Middle East. We have a program which we call it Strategies and Approaches, promoting strategies and approaches to address gender-based violence in the Middle East. So our program is built on the argument around who will be changing
You
this?
can talk with this, Michelle.
Okay, sorry. I thought this is the timekeeping.
No.
I'm not used to. Okay. Then I press down.
I was pressing that one. It seemed to be moving ahead.
Excellent. Thank you. We just said, why do we need to work with men and boys to address violence against women? And this is a new approach. Actually, in the Middle East, the whole a slot of work around women's empowerment, women's rights is controlled by women organizations. The whole focus is around women themselves. So men has been excluded from the process, which contradicts the reality that men are the ones who blocks women's rights. So it is worth investing in men, start working with men, start to see different approaches to work with them. Otherwise, it will not be working. And we believe, and through a long-term involvement and engagement with women organizations, we have been building a different discourse. Like whenever we went to a workshop, we have been telling about women's subordination, disempowerment, poverty, you can name it. But nobody tells us about men. Men are the ones who abuse, etc. We have started to shift, maybe 5 years back, asking women organizations and other women's groups at the community level and different level, what is good about men? We just ask this question. Are there anything good about men? And then I think from that end we started to open up, like women look differently to men, the good fathers, the good husbands, the good brothers, how they protect them, how sometimes they are the provide social safety nets to them, and so on and so forth. And then the question of, that has been a global discourse in bringing men into the fora of women's organization, or in engaging men in different aspects so that to address gender equality is, why should men give up power? It is a power when men restrict women's movement or give them whatsoever. It is about power relation. Why do men should give the power? This is the question we have always been asking. And then we are trying to answer this question. And then there has been a lot of resistance from the organizations, partners in the Middle East, where we started to say, let us integrate men in our work on ending violence against women, instead of focusing all the time on providing services to women, counseling, shelter, etc. Why don't we try to address the real causes of the problem? Why don't we try to engage men in that and see how change happens? This is a program which we started maybe rolling out in the Middle East 2 years back, reducing the incidence of domestic violence through working with men and boys. Al project core approaches, we divided it into 4 core. We just wanted to demonstrate again a pilot model in Lebanon, and then we want to roll it in other parts of the Middle East like OPTI, Egypt, Yemen, Syria, etc. The strategies, how did we go about this? That was a very hard exercise. Starting to work around those issues, we started believing that there is a need for a capacity building of NGOs, especially women's organizations, and also attracting men to come on board. We developed a very interesting manual which we called it Men Hand in Hand, Women and Men Working Against Violence Against Women. So we are shifting the whole thing, like bringing women and men. We started to bring the concept of men into addressing this. So men have a role to play in addressing violence against women. We train around about 25 organizations from the region, and we develop a manual actually from scratch. We develop it with NGOs from the region. We just ask them simple question. Do you work with men in any way, either as policy, community, etc.? How do you work with them? Can you tell us what worked well for you? What didn't work well for you? This is how we build the case study from the context of the Middle East, and turned up to be a very amazing manual. People started to be trained on how to reach men in different institutions, as you have been calling them. And then research. We use research extensively to enhance our understanding. This time it's not from women's perspective, but also engaging men's perspective. So we ask a question like, why do men behave this way? Alliances building, I want to note, addressing any gender inequality in any part of the world requires a high mobilization of different actors coming together, either to buy in the approach or to work with you or to advocate at different levels. So alliances building, it could be from the government, international donors, community leaders, etc. So this is very important for our work. And campaigning also, we integrated men in the ongoing campaign on domestic violence bill that Lebanon is taking up with, and we started to bring men like celebrities, men from the government, religious leaders, etc. Again, this is a very comprehensive process on how we handle each individual man in that respect. And then we started to build from men with good merits at the community level, what we call male forum. So men start to discuss issues related to violence against women, orient other men on the harmful practices or the negative impact of violence against women on the community, on the family, and on the women themselves by developing what we call a men's forum. So that has been a process going for 2 years. It's not an easy process. The main thing that we need to observe in working with men and boys is we need to believe that they have a role to play, and we need to believe that there are many men who are really want to change and play a role in changing women's situation. So the negative things will disappear from our concept. 3 basic principles, as we said in the whole program, and Oxfam is not calling it a project anymore because in gender issues, Oxfam has a longer term commitment, you know. So we take it from 3 years onward. So we continue on that up to the level we feel national organization can be taking it. We call it a program. Simply, Oxfam links up grassroots work, direct intervention with women at the community level. We link it up with policy and advocacy and campaigning. Oxfam is a campaigning organization. That's why we don't just work at the grassroots level and then leave it. So we thought that there are basic principles in the program we are doing with men and boys, like engaging men with different level. With community level, we are engaged. The community level, husbands, local authorities, police, judiciary, moving into policy making level, and then even up to the level of the parliament. Understanding men better, this is very important. We have to look at men's perception towards those issues. Acknowledging change is possible. These are some, by saying so, also we borrow from the global models. And for example, at this stage right now, in Lebanon, we are running the first white ribbon campaign in the region, in the Middle East, to be linked up with the global movement of the white ribbon campaign in Brazil and elsewhere. And we are bringing men for the first time in the region to say no to violence against women. And then you can see men from the universities writing their inspiration, signing a petition, young men. And we are investing in that group a lot. This is the slogan of the campaign. For the first time in the region, often any campaign related to violence against women, you see women as a victims, hiding her face, denying, wanting a bill. Now this is the first time in the region where the campaign is bringing a man's hand to say, stop, this is written in Arabic, sorry for that, stop violence against women. So this is changing the whole image now, men coming up to say no. It's not like before, it's just women coming and claiming. So there is a shift even in the image. So it enforces that men has a role to play in ending violence against women and bringing also the commitment of men to that end. These are some of the posters. Changing the whole shift. The messages are very strong, like the good man is not anymore. The good man or the ideal man in our culture is not the one who beats wife. It's the one who respects his wife and his sister, etc. So it's shifting the whole mindset, the messages, to bring man at the forefront of a very sensitive issue in the region, in the Middle East, that has been a real impact. The best impact which I can see now, tomorrow actually, I'm traveling today because tomorrow, the end of the campaign, and it is going to be launched under the auspices of the Prime Minister. And in that event, we are demanding with the women organization the endorsement of the domestic violence bill they have been fighting for long years. But this is the first time to bring, after our project became operational, to bring men, the minister, the parliament, and we are bringing some men from the parliament in Bahrain coming to say, endorse this law. Okay, so this is a shift, and we are expecting that the Prime Minister tomorrow in Lebanon to pass the whole law and succeed on that. So just working with men for a few years, it just gives them that, change the whole scenario on that issue. I just want to touch just for a second on what do we mean by understanding men? And these are the questions which we have been asking men in a very remote area, which is called Baalbek in Lebanon. In that area, there is a composition from Christians, Muslims, marionettes, etc. We ask them, what you can never negotiate in your relationship with your partner or wife? Because these are the things we will be developing strategies on how we can change them. They said respect. They want their wife to respect them throughout. Obedience, marital obligation, child care, household activities, educating children, no meeting with his friends. These are the things. This is what the men said in Lebanon. These are the things they don't negotiate at all. Their wife should be applied. So this understanding from men themselves what they cannot negotiate, these are our entry points on influencing change, like child care. It could be through the men's forum in Baalbek to be bringing role models of men who will be supporting their working wives on taking care of the children, and so on and so forth. So this is very important to listen to men's voice, what they accept and what they don't accept. Recognizing change is happening. Rosa, can you read it? How do you know that change is happening? And this is a statement from a 21 years old young male who joins the campaign. These are the things we never knew before, how the young generation think about violence against women, how they are inspired to be an agent of change. We never knew this before. We never question actually the young males in our region. We just focus on young men. Maybe they have something else to add to what they are doing. We wanted to know why Fadi wanted to be part of the White Ribbon campaign. And that such kind of a statement inspires you that change is happening, and it is happening, and we can invest more in people like Fadi. Okay, I think that is okay.